Reports by council. Councilmember Roth, would you like to lead us today?
Certainly. I just have one item this evening. Just wanted to announce that our next Ward Town Hall meeting is actually the last scheduled one of the year. And it is a week from tonight, the 17th at 7 p.m. And as all of our Ward Town Hall meetings are, it's at Peace with Christ Lutheran Church, which is 3290 South Tower Road. It's on the east side of Tower, just north of Hamden. And this will be probably one of the last times to actually hear the mayoral candidates. We're going to be having a mayoral forum, and so you'll get a last opportunity to hear their viewpoints. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Bursons?
Thank you. I have two kudos to give. One is the Helga's German restaurant on Exposition. It's behind the town center. For the last 2 weekends, they have given a wonderful Oktoberfest, and if you didn't go, boy, you missed a good one. German band, dancing, all the good German food. It was wonderful. But, I mean, it still is October, so keep going in October and support them. You'll have a great time. And the other one is thank you to Walmart, also on Exposition behind the town center. And they just went through a whole new renovation, and they've reopened, and it is fantastic. It's a super Walmart. So if you go, you'll have a great time. They have samples everywhere. So give them a shot. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to just announce there'll be something called a crop walk this Sunday on the corner. It begins on the corner of 6th and Chambers at about 12:30 to 1. It's a walk for people. It's kind of a walk for hunger. You're encouraged to come. Anybody can come and bring canned goods or non-perishable goods to help stock some of the food banks in the city. It's put on, or at least as I understand it, hope I don't leave anybody out, but Burns United Methodist Church, which is the church just proximate to Aurora Central, and Pastor Will and Kathy Moton, I want to thank you for setting this up every year. And then finally, I had a great conversation with a fellow who has a lot of insight. And, you know, we all complain about what's going on in the world and the country and our economics, but just think of it. We actually have a 911 system where you can call somebody and an ambulance will actually come. Now, that differentiates us from most countries on earth. So thank our fire department, thank Rural Metro, and our Public Safety Communications Center. We actually have that, and we rely on it every day, and we don't think about it. So we actually have a lot. So be positive out there.
Thank you. Councilmember Marker.
Thank you. Speaking of positives, the play Rashomon at the Fox was met with rave reviews up to and including Governor Hickenlooper and his lovely wife who came to the Fox, which was pretty neat. I wanted, Marcia and I together, we each have one, we can do this in unity. It's International Restaurant Week on Havana, starting this week, October 15th to the 23rd. You can, I'm not going to read through all the choices, but there are 35 restaurants that are participating with coupons for everything from breakfast, lunch, dinner to 24-hour food. And if you go to onhavanastreet.com, you'll get more information. It'll be a great time.
Thank you. Councilmember Broom.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Roth and I both attended the Oktoberfest opening the other evening, and we were there for the tapping of the first keg of beer. And it was rumored that the mayor was going to be there to do that, so we were just itching to get in there and tap that keg. But, you know, they decided we weren't in the right college fraternity, so we weren't qualified to do it.
Councilmember Clellan.
On October 28th, Aurora Mental Health is having its annual meeting, of which everybody is invited. Every year for our annual meeting, we get art from grade school, middle school, and high school, and we have a judging contest. Right now, we have over 200 pieces of art that everybody can come and see and look at. So this is where we choose our board members for the next year that are up. So please come. We'll be at the Red Lion. I think it starts at 6 o'clock on the 28th.
Thank you. Councilmember Frazier.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a quick point of personal privilege. Want to make sure I wish my mother a happy birthday.
Excellent.
You don't want to miss that one up. And also, she actually has back surgery that is back on for this week. And unfortunately, I can't make it down this time. First time, as you recall, I made it down, and the insurance company had rejected her surgery. Very proud to say that they've reconsidered, and the back surgery is back on. And so my mother will be having that this Wednesday, I think it is. And so I want to wish Mom a safe surgery, and she'll be in my prayers, and love you. Thanks.
Speedy recovery.
That's right. Speedy recovery.
Thank you. Councilmember Pierce.
Thanks. This past Saturday was our annual Pumpkin Chunkin' celebration out at the Arapahoe County Fairgrounds this year. And our esteemed pit boss, Officer Newhouse over here, was in charge of all the launchers, I guess you could call it. So, and then our esteemed Grand Marshal over here, the city attorney, and I welcomed all the people in attendance who came out in that snowy morning and afternoon to welcome all the pumpkin chunkers. So it was a good day, even though the visibility wasn't that great, but we had a good time. And looking forward to next year in better weather. Two things on recycling. This coming Saturday, October 15th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Talents Reach Library out on 23911 East Arapahoe Road is the e-cycling event where you can recycle VCRs, TVs, cell phones, small appliances, televisions. And there's a nominal fee for recycling those items. So October 15th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Talents Reach Library. And then I wanted to report on the household chemical roundup that we had about a month ago in the beginning of September. And these numbers are pretty outstanding. We had big increases in the number of participants, used motor oil. There was almost 1,500 gallons of used motor oil, 355 gallons of antifreeze, and 60 pounds of mercury, along with tires and paint and herbicides. So thanks to everyone who brought their items to be disposed of properly instead of taking them to the landfill. So we had a very successful household chemical roundup in September. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Peterson.
Oh, I'm just going to make mention that the council, all of us received a couple of letters and calls and emails from folks asking us to do something about school buses and when the lights are flashing, people going around the side. And I just want to ask, as a courtesy, please watch out for those school buses. Sometimes kids come around from the front and you don't know it, and you could hit one.
Yep.
So we wouldn't want that tragedy to happen. So be aware of that, and also be aware of when you're parking, not to park in a space for a disabled person, because they really need those spots.
Thank you. Councilmember Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to thank everybody for attending our October ward meeting. Our November ward meeting, which is the last one for this year, will actually be November 9th. It's the second week of November. We're going to have a transportation focus for that meeting. There's a lot going on in Ward 1. I'd like to invite everybody to the re-grand opening of Spencer Garrett Park this Thursday, the 13th, I believe at 5 o'clock. And then congratulations to the Aurora Arts District doing an art benefit tomorrow night at the new Spring Hill Suites on Colfax, right across from Children's Hospital. You're more than invited and welcome to attend and actually view the art from our own local artists. And it's actually supporting, I believe, an art benefit supporting Children's Hospital. Thank you.
Thank you. And just in a quick response to Councilmember Broom, would not have been the first keg I ever tapped. And I've even tapped them where, I don't know if you've seen the traditional German kind where it's a big wooden cask and they have like a rubber nipple in there and you have to kind of drive the spigot in. And if you don't hit it all the way in the first time, it basically will blow out across the room and all the beer will come shooting out. So you have to give it a heck of a whack. There was a time, it was more than 5 years ago, when I would pick up one of those things with the tap and walk around with it at a party, but those days are just a little in the past for me. So with that, in echoing what Councilmember Peterson said, please be careful around kids and around school buses. Those really are our most important treasure. And with that, public invited to be heard. Is there anyone else who wishes to address council this evening? And seeing none, we are out.
All right.